if anybody on Facebook says, no, you don't need retina lock unless you're a rookie, well, they're an idiot. You know, do they not check their bubble? Alright, tomorrow is August the 1st, so we're going to switch from the 3D sight, single pin 3D adjustable dials HHA Tetra Tournament Edition. We're going to switch it out to what I think may be the best hunting sight you can get, and it's the IQ Pro Hunter bow sight. It's 2 fixed pins, 1 floater pin. It's not perfect, but for its price, it's hard to beat. Now, this is the 2018 and I guess 2018 to 2020 version, and I think the only huge difference is going to be the size of the pins inside there, and we'll look at that in a second. The 2021 version has smaller pins. The 2018 to 2020 version, which is this one, you can get on eBay for a couple $100, $175, you know, something like that. I've seen them on there for 150 used. This is new in the box, but it's just the older version. The 2021 version is going to be about $300 plus tax, so you can figure that out. So, but anyway, let's get it out of the box and start swapping it on and getting it sighted in. Tools, instructions, box. What makes this sight, I think, potentially one of the best hunting sights is you've got your 2 fixed pins. Let me move that out of the way. Your 2 fixed pins, so 20 and 30, and then this bottom pin, you'd want to set it at 40, but then you could also turn the dial and go up 50, 60, potentially 70, you know, wherever you can get with your speed of your bow. So you've got the floater for those long, if you're setting on field edges, you've got the ability to get out, reach out there, which, you know, is it ethical or not to shoot that far? That's debatable, but you have the ability to shoot those long distance shots. And if you're in the woods, like I hunt mostly, your 20 and 30 are fixed, so you can just throw your bow up and get on that deer at 20 or 30 and not have to adjust a dial. It's kind of the best of both worlds, and you've got the retina lock, which if you can see here, it's hard to see on a camera, there's a green circle in there, and then you put that black dot right in the middle of that green circle, and it tells you that you are using the same anchor points and you're not torquing your bow left or right when you are holding it. Some people say that's great for first timers, but I don't ever use that, blah blah. You're an idiot if you're not using it, especially if you've got this bow sight, because it is I think probably the single greatest aspect of a sight. The fact that you can check your anchor points. You know, like they put these levels on here, but you don't hear anybody go, "Well, you're an idiot if you got to check your level." You shouldn't have to check your level all the time. This is just an extra feature, like your level, to make you go, okay, my bow is level, I'm holding it the same way I hold it every time, and I'm able to repeat that that same hold and same shot every time, which is in essence what bow hunting is. Another great feature about these IQ bow sights is that you tune them like a scope. So I can loosen this. Of course, it's super tight coming from the factory. Alright, so I can loosen that. I'll go ahead and loosen this one because I'm sure it's going to need to be adjusted too. And then I can move it manually left and right. Loosen it up a little more. I think they call this their toolless adjustment system. Loosen that up. and I can turn this little knob like I would a scope and actually adjust the sight and actually move the micro adjustments, which is really cool. It's a lot like you're shooting a gun as far as getting your sight in when you get it how you want it. Turn this knob here. Alright, if you hadn't got one of these adjustable peep setups yet with the peep sight with the adjustable apertures that you can put in there, you need to get one. I'm going to check my, because the sight housing is different on the HHA and the IQ. I'm going to check the peep and make sure it fits good for the size of the sight housing. Put a bow, put an arrow in, and make sure we don't dry fire it. Just going to look through it and set it down. So it's a little tight. You can't see the entire housing when you look through the peep. So what I'm going to do, take this aperture set and take the one that's in there out. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I might put a really small one in there if I had a really small one, but that's going to be fun. Now, before we've even shot an arrow, we're going to try to line up this, if I can get it in the camera there, I'm going to try to line up this black dot on top of that green there for the sight lock, sight lock technology, whatever you want to call it. What do they call it? Retina lock. Retina lock. So you can see you can move it up or down from here. You can move it, where is the left and right? It's up and down there. There should be another one that lets you move it left and right. Oh, is that it? Yeah, there it is. So if you move that one, that'll move it left and right. This is up and down. There's a little wrench that came with it. It's really small. And get it out here. You can use these little wrenches and you can turn it just up or down just a little, depending on which way it needs to go. So that's my wrench, really small. All right, so let's check it. Still haven't fired an arrow. All right, so it is low currently. Turn this left. Try it again. So the green dot moves, not the black dot. So I'm going to turn the green dot down a pretty good way. So that's just about perfect. We're going to go up just a quarter turn. Let's shoot some arrows. Start out at 10 yards and work our way back. To right's good, so we're going back up to 15. Alright, so I've got sighted in at my 20 and 30 pin, which is, if I can get it to focus, 20, 30, and then I just gapped my pins to this one, and then I sighted it in at 40. Had to make a few adjustments, made a little mark there with a Sharpie, moved down some more about the same distance as far as pin gap goes. I had to end up lowering it a little bit more to get my 50 pin, which is right here. So all I'm going to do, for now anyway, get my little Sharpie. See if we can get this. I'm gonna make just a little mark right here to know that's where my 50 pin should be. All right, so last little bit about this IQ Bow Hunter Pro. I've got it sighted in. I've got my 20 pin. I'll try not to touch them. My 20 pin, my 30 pin, and my floater pin is at 40 right now. I've just put 2 lines on there. 50 is as far out as I've gone. I could do 60. I think 60 would be about right here, somewhere right in there, and have a 60 pin. And so I could have, you know, 20 through 60 set up. So when you turn this, dial here to lower that down, just drop her down here to that line, and now I'm at my 50-yard pin. You can kind of see there I've got it set up. I've got some tapes I'm going to try to put on there. I think they send some blank ones that come with it, but they don't send you anything that literally says 20, 30, 40, 50 or anything like that. But I've got some for my Tetra I may try to put on there. This is quiet. This right here, this dial, it's one of the things I kind of worried about, would that have a click noise or anything. It doesn't. It's really pretty quiet. So kind of my final thoughts on it. It's an awesome sight. Retina lock is amazing. If anybody on Facebook says, no, you don't need retina lock unless you're a rookie, well, they're an idiot. You know, do they not check their bubble? Do they not check their anchor points? I mean, this is just another feature that lets you do that lets you reassure yourself that you are using all your anchor points in the right way. Why anyone wouldn't want to do that, I don't know. Maybe they're just an idiot and they're a Facebook keyboard warrior. Probably. I love that it has the 3 pins and the floater pin, the ability to, you don't have a really a really cluttered peep sight here with all these pins lying up there. I've had a 7-pin IQ define, and I loved it. Not IQ define, but a 7-pin IQ sight, and I loved it, but it's just a lot of pins in there, a lot of stuff going on, so I decided to get rid of it. I love the micro adjust, the ability to, if you need to make a switch, you got little clicks like you would on a scope. The pins are bright. Love everything about it. Here's the negative. The negative of it is, this is the older version, and it was around $200. The newer version, I think, is $300 to $350, somewhere in there, and the pins, the plastic part of the pin is a little smaller on the new version. Not the actual pin itself, the dot, but the plastic here is thinner. There may be some other adjustments for the new model, but for the most part, I think that's the big difference. So your price, $200, pretty high for a sight with 2 pins and a rover. I think the fact that it is about $200 or $350, whatever you're going to do, it doesn't come with a light. Kind of annoys me. It ought to come with a light at that price. I bought a light. I found a light on eBay for $10. It works great. If you ever need a light, this $10 one on eBay works great. Hard to tell it's on right now, but there it is. And you can kind of see it's coming on and off. Works great. It just screws in on the front up here. Kind of an awkward spot, but it is what it is. The other negative is the adjustment's kind of down here, whereas most adjustments on these are over here. Not a big deal, but it is just something different to think about. Other than that, you know, I wish they made a 10,000th pin. I'd love for this floater to be a 10,000th instead of a, what is it, 1800. That's, you know, the bigger pin. I wish I could. IQ doesn't make a smaller pin. I've tried to get smaller pins. They don't make them. So I've asked them, I've emailed them. They will not make a smaller pin for you, especially for those long distance shots, which is kind of annoying. Wish they would. Overall though, I think this is the best bow hunting sight I've ever owned, and there's not another one I would buy that I would try out. I think this is the best of all the worlds. Having the retina lock, having the ability to have a floater pin, having your sight not super cluttered, still have the ability to do those quick 20-30 yard shots, the ability to put a light on it, I guess, if you want. It's really just a personal decision. You know, the being able to adjust these dials and click, using clicks and not having to push them and they go too far and then come back. All of those are things you got to think about. I love the sight. I'm gonna get to shooting it and make sure it's getting dialed in for deer season here.